Zombie apocalypse.
Hello everyone, welcome back to EcoTalks. In today's session, we'll see market demand and elasticity of demand. The market demand for a given commodity, it is a horizontal summation of demands of individual consumers. In other words, quantity demanded in market at a particular price is sum of individual demand of all consumer at that price. So here you can see in the graph, first graph shows the demand by consumer A. Second graph is the demand of consumer B. And third graph is the market demand. So at price P1, quantity demanded by consumer A is 2. Demand by consumer B is 3. And in market, so the market demand will be 5 units at price P1 and so on for price to P2, the quantity demanded in the market will be 10. So market demand will be 10 units at price P2. Then determinants of demand. We have seen in the previous videos that demand is the multivariate functions and it is determined by many variables. Traditionally, most important determinants are price of the commodity, price of other commodity, consumer income and taste. So result of change in price of commodity is graphically shown by the movement of from one point to another point on the same demand curve. Whereas effect of change in other demands other than the price, it is shown by the shift in demand curve. So other than the price, all other factors are called as shift factors. And demand curve is drawn under the ceteris paribus assumption. That is, all the shift factors are assumed to be constant, only price will be varying. So the distinction between the movements along the curve and shift of the curve is convenient for graphical representation of demand function. Now you can see here in the graph, the movement along the graph, that is from point A to point B here, this is due to the change in price. This is movement along the demand curve as price of X changes. Whereas this is shift in the demand curve. For example, if the income increases, demand will increase. So demand curve will shift towards the right. This is the shift in the demand curve. The price has not changed, but the other factors have changed. So the demand curve has shifted. So the other than the price, all other factors are shift factors. Then elasticity of demand. There are many elasticity of demand as it determinants. For every determinant, there is one elasticity. But for study, there are three important elasticity of demand. First is the price elasticity, second is the income elasticity, and third is the cross elasticity of demand. We'll see these three elasticities one by one. First one is the price elasticity of demand. It is a measure of responsiveness of demand to change in the commodity's own price. Now, if the change in price is very small, we use point elasticity of demand to measure the responsiveness of demand. Whereas if the price change is not small, then we use arc elasticity of demand. Then the point elasticity of demand is defined by proportionate change in quantity demanded resulting from very small proportionate change in price. It is given by the formula EP, that is price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity demanded, that is given by dq divided by q divided by whole divided by change in price, that is given by dp divided by p. If we simplify this, we will get dq by dp into p by q. So this is the formula for point elasticity of demand. The point elasticity of linear demand is shown by ratio of segments of line to the right of the point divided by to the left of the point. Now, if you consider the point F in here on the graph, on the right of the point we have FD dash divided by FD. This is the formula for calculating point elasticity if the demand curve is linear. So the point elasticity on demand curve at point F, it is given by FD dash divided by FD. Now considering this formula on a linear demand curve at the midpoint, the elasticity of demand will be is equal to 1 because both the sections will be equal. We'll get elasticity equal to 1. At the many point, right to the middle point, that is M, the elasticity will be less than 1, and above the midpoint, it will be greater than 1. Then point where it joins y-axis, elasticity is infinity, and the point where it joins x-axis, elasticity is 0. The range value of elasticity is 0 to infinity. The price elasticity is always negative because of inverse relationship between quantity and price, as explained by the law of demand. But traditionally, the negative sign is omitted when writing the formula of elasticity. Then if price elasticity of demand is equal to 0, then demand is said to be perfectly inelastic. This is shown in this figure 2.35, where we get the line parallel to y-axis. If the elasticity is 0, then if elasticity is 1, then it is called as unitary elasticity. And if elasticity equal to infinity, it is called as perfectly elastic. It is shown by line parallel to x-axis. And if elasticity range between 0 to 1, we say that demand is inelastic or relatively inelastic. And if it ranges from 1 to infinity, we say demand is elastic or relatively elastic. Now let us see in detail about the degrees of elasticity. First is the elastic demand. The demand is elastic if percent change in quantity demanded exceeds the percentage change in price. Then it is called the demand is elastic demand or relatively elastic. Then unit elastic. If percent change in quantity demanded equals the percent change in price, then it is called as unit elastic. That change in price is equal to change in quantity. It is unitary elastic demand. Then inelastic demand or relatively inelastic. In the percent change in, if the percent change in quantity demanded is less than the percent change in price, then it is said to be inelastic demand. Then perfectly elastic. When quantity demanded changes by very large percent in response to almost zero or zero change in price, then it is called as perfectly elastic demand. And in case of perfectly inelastic, when quantity demanded remains constant as the price changes, there is no effect of change in price, then it is called as perfectly inelastic demand. Now I have explained this in a tabular form. If elasticity of coefficient is greater than 1, then demand is said to be elastic, and percent change in quantity is greater than the percent change in price. If elasticity is equal to 1, it is said to be unitary elastic, and percent change in quantity is equal to percent change in price. And if elasticity coefficient is less than 1, then it is inelastic, and percent change in quantity is less than the percent change in price. This is the best table to remember for the exam. Many questions can be formed based on this table. Now here is the graphical representation of all the degrees of price elasticity. In case of perfectly elastic, the coefficient is infinity and the demand curve is parallel to x-axis. Whereas in perfectly inelastic, it is parallel to y-axis. Then in third, unitary elastic, you can see it is a linear curve. And in relatively elastic, it is the slope of curve is little less compared to relatively inelastic. Inelastic demand curve is steeper, and here relatively elastic, it is flatter. Then basic determinants of elasticity of demand with respect to own price. First is the availability of substitutes. The demand for commodity is more elastic if there are close substitutes available for a commodity. Then the nature and need of commodity. In general, luxury goods, they are price elastic, whereas necessities are price inelastic, because necessities are required in day-to-day life and we cannot omit the consumption of those, or we cannot avoid the consumption of those necessity good. So price will be inelastic in case of necessities. Then the time period. Demand is more elastic in long run. Then number of uses for which commodities can be put. The more the possible uses, the greater will be the price elasticity, and the proportion of income spent on particular commodity. These are the determinants of elasticity of demand. Then if the price change is more, then we use the arc elasticity of demand. Formula for arc elasticity of demand is EP is equal to change in quantity divided by change in price into average of price, that is P1 plus P2 divided by 2 divided by Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. If we simplify this, we get change in quantity divided by change in price into P1 plus P2 divided by Q1 plus Q2. The arc elasticity is the measure of average elasticity, that is the elasticity at the midpoint of chord that connects the 2 point A and B. Now if you have to find the arc elasticity, then we'll take the arc joining the points A, B, and at the mid of this point, whatever the elasticity is, that is the average elasticity at the midpoint of the chord connecting 2 points. Then it should be clear that measure of arc elasticity is approximation of true elasticity of section AB of demand curve, which is used when we know only 2 points A and B on the demand curve and not the intermediate ones. So this is used to find the elasticity when we know only the 2 points on the demand curve, and it measures the average of these 2 points. Then next elasticity, income elasticity of demand. It is defined as proportionate change in quantity demanded resulting from proportionate change in income. The formula is EY, that is income elasticity is equal to change in quantity demanded, which is given by dQ divided by Q whole divided by change in income given by dy divided by y. If we simplify this, we get dQ divided by dy into y by q. Y here is the income. The income elasticity is positive for normal goods. Then some economists say that income elasticity uses income elasticity to classify goods into luxuries and necessities. Now, commodity is considered to be luxury if its income elasticity is greater than unity, and a necessity if income elasticity is small, that is less than unity. Then determinants of income elasticity. First one is the nature of the need that commodity covers. The percentage of income spent on food declines as the income increases. This is known as Engel's law and has sometimes used to measure the welfare and development stage of the economy. Second determinant, initial level of income of the country. Then, for example, TV set is luxury in underdeveloped and poor country, while it is necessity in the higher per capita country with higher per capita or developed country. So the initial level of income of the country also determines the income elasticity. And time period, because consumption pattern adjusts with the time lag to change in income. So these are the determinants of income elasticity. Then third is the cross elasticity of demand. It is defined as proportionate change in quantity demanded of X resulting from proportionate change in price of Y. In cross elasticity of demand, we consider two commodities X and Y. So it is expressed by the formula elasticity cross XY, that is cross elasticity of commodity XY is equal to change in quantity of X, that is dQX divided by QX the whole divided by change in price of Y given by dPY divided by PY. If we simplify this, we get dQX divided by dPY into PY by QX. Now the sign of if the sign of cross elasticity is negative, then X and Y are considered to be complementary goods, and if it is positive, then X and Y are the substitutes. Higher the value of cross elasticity, stronger will be the degree of substitutability or complementarity of X and Y. The main determinant of cross elasticity is the nature of the commodities relative to their uses. And if two commodities can satisfy equally where in the same need, the cross elasticity is high and vice versa. Now here if the I have given in the tabular form, if the cross price elasticity is positive, then the goods are substitutes. If it is negative, it is complement, and if it is equal to 0, then it is independent. Now this is the in case of substitutes and complements. There can be questions asked from this part. Now suppose there is an increase in the price of B quantity. There are two commodities A and B. Then when there is increase in the price of B, then there will be increase in the demand for commodity A. If there is decrease in the price B, there will be decrease in the demand for A. This is in case of substitutes. And in case of complements, if there is increase in the price of B, there will be decrease in the demand for A. And if there is a decrease in the price of B, there will be increase in the demand for A. There can be questions from this section because it is quite confusing in the substitutes and complements. That's all for today's session. In upcoming sessions, we'll discuss about the relationship between the total revenue and the elasticity. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.